Anita was only 20 years old, but she carried burdens far heavier than her age should allow. Her home was a single-room shack made of rusted zinc sheets and old wooden planks at the edge of the city, barely standing but filled with memories. She lived there with her younger brother, Chuka, only 15 and born with a condition that left his legs paralyzed. Their parents, Mama Ifioma and Papa Nanso, had died in a tragic motor accident 3 years ago, leaving them to fend for themselves. Every day was a struggle. Anita worked 3 jobs, cleaning a small tailoring shop in the morning, selling roasted corn in the afternoon, and doing laundry for people in the nearby estate at night. Yet it was never enough. She saved every naira she could find, patched Chuka's clothes over and over, and prayed every night for a change. But change never seemed to come. One Wednesday afternoon, the Lego sun beating down without mercy, Anita returned from her corn stand with a small plastic bag. Inside, a single tuber of yam and half a bottle of palm oil. It was all they had left. No salt, no pepper, not even crayfish. Just that. She sighed and entered their shack. "Chuka," she called softly, trying to mask the despair in her voice. Chuka, ever the hopeful one, smiled from his corner. "At least we'll eat tonight," he said, trying to cheer her up. Anita nodded, kneeling beside the tiny kerosene stove they had rescued from a dumpster the year before. Just as she was about to peel the yam, a knock came at the door. Slow, weak, almost trembling. She opened the door to find an old woman hunched over, wrapped in a faded Ankara shawl. Her eyes were sunken, her voice barely audible. "My daughter," she whispered, "I haven't eaten in 2 days. Please, anything, even water." Anita's heart twisted. She looked back at the yam. It wouldn't be enough for 3. It barely served 2. But she didn't hesitate. She invited the woman in, cut the yam into smaller slices, and shared it all. Chuka didn't protest. He just smiled again and said, "God will provide." They sat on the floor, the woman barely able to keep the spoon steady in her hand. When she finished eating, she looked around the room, her eyes filling with tears. "What are your names?" she asked. "I'm Anita, and this is my brother, Chuka." The woman gasped, almost choking on her own breath. Her eyes welled up even more, and her hands began to tremble. She reached into her wrapper and pulled out a folded, old photograph. Her hand shook as she held it out. "My name is Madame Bilinear, and I've been looking for you for 3 years." Anita frowned. "Looking for us?" The woman nodded. "Your mother, Ifioma, was my daughter. I am your grandmother." Silence fell like a heavy cloth. Anita's hands began to shake. What were you saying?" "I lost contact with your parents years ago after they married against my wishes. I was a proud woman, foolish and stubborn. But when I heard they died, I started looking for you, my only blood. I hired people. I searched villages. I nearly gave up. But God led me here, and your kindness showed me who you are." Tears streamed down Anita's face. Chuka stared in awe. "But why didn't you find us earlier?" Anita whispered. "I didn't know where to look. Your parents changed names when they moved to the city. There were no records. I almost lost hope. But today, when you shared your last meal with a stranger, you proved you carry your mother's heart." The next morning, everything changed. Madame Bilinear took Anita and Chuka to her house. Not a mansion, but a comfortable home in Abeokuta, with gardens, books, and peace. It turned out she was a retired teacher who had inherited her late husband's estate. She immediately enrolled Chuka in a top hospital for physical therapy and Anita in a scholarship program to study nursing, her dream. Months passed. Chuka started walking with the help of braces. Anita bloomed, confident, radiant, and strong. She even started a foundation to help orphans and children with disabilities, naming it after her mother, the Ifioma Light Foundation. Every time people asked her how it all happened, Anita would smile and say, "It started with yam and love." Moral of the story: sometimes the door to your miracle won't open with a key of power or wealth, but with kindness. Even when you have little, what you give from your heart can unlock everything you need. If this story moved you, touched your heart, or reminded you of someone who sacrifices every day, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let this story spread hope, because miracles still happen, often through the smallest acts of love.